Hey everybody, good morning. We're going to get started. Welcome to Thursday, November 12th, 2020. Some volatility pre-market here today between earnings, initial claims. There's a lot going on. I think the afterglow of Monday's euphoric bullish gap, both on the win or the electoral college announcement for President-elect Biden, as well as the Pfizer news, seems to have settled in now. Now a lot of people are reading between the lines a little bit more about when the COVID vaccine might be available. So things have calmed down a little bit. But again, that's nothing we didn't discuss Monday morning. We said that it'd be very difficult to be initiating new swing trades long after that monster gap higher. And look, we were right. I mean, we weren't right because we guessed. We were right because we know what we're talking about. It's really not rocket science. It's really expectation for follow through and the odds of making money on your entry. So I want to focus on two things before we get started here. Number one, which is chasing price. This has been a big thing I've been covering for the better part of the last, I want to say 90 days, because a lot of the members who were trading full time during the summertime and went back to work have gone from full-time day trading to part-time swing trading, which again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's probably what you should be doing, because keeping your full-time job while you make extra money on the side, awesome. But the point that I want to make is that now I'm starting to be exposed a lot more to the swing trades that these members are making, both in emails and messages and here in the community and whatnot. And by a mile, not even close, by a mile, the number one issue is poor timing. And that's just chasing price, reading a scanner in the morning, seeing a stock is up 20% overnight and looking to be involved, versus trying to find the ideal or the optimal entry, which is right around the area where we either have an inside candlestick, which represents a pause, or the first well-bid candlestick after a pullback as the optimal entry. So I'm really putting it out there so that everybody who's watching this now live or is going to watch the video later because they're either on their way to work or at work or whatnot, just start to be very aware of how far away from you are from what could be the best entry. And if you are buying too late or buying later or buying after a few days of rallying, you have to ask yourself how much is left on the trade to justify taking the risk. And I think a lot of what I've seen is excitement to be placing trades because you're recognizing order flow, but you really need to get that last step down, which is anticipating entries versus reacting to a scanner. The second thing I want to talk about, which I think is more important, quite honestly, which must be really important if that's what I'm leading up with, right? Is the fact that, and I'm going to pull the chart of the SPY up here just to really illustrate this point. The fact that the tape changed so dramatically during September, October, and to where we are now in November. November's actually been rallying based on the news, but really it's this move here pretty much from July through August. And then we have a month of selling, and then October was 2 weeks of buying and 2 weeks of selling. I can't express this any other way, so I'm just going to say it without any ego involved at all. And hopefully everybody in the community knows me by now. I honestly don't have any ego. I don't want to take credit for anybody's success because you're working hard. I'm just helping to point everybody in the direction. However, I know what to do. And I'm not saying this, again, no, taking ego completely out of the equation. I understand when to push it and I understand when to dial it back. And I have been very, very adamant that September and October were very tough months to trade. And I was imploring everybody, especially newer traders, that the money that you probably earned during July and August, which was a Fed stimulus package fuel-induced coma, was awesome, but it wasn't indicative of real trading. We actually had circumstances here, for those of you that weren't in the community, of people saying, do you ever look for short sales? And it was, to me, it was comical because that's normal trading where there's trades on both sides of the market. But people were induced into believing that this was normal. It was so far from normal. You heard people like myself, Vince, Chris Ferris, some of the market veterans discussing it, that they were uncomfortable that the market was never pulling back at all. It was great. Don't get me wrong. Making money, and easy money, for lack of a better way of putting it, was freaking awesome. However, some newer traders were arguing with me that there was no reason to have stop losses, no reasons to adjust share size, no reasons not to be aggressive because the market kept bailing them out. And I saw this before. I saw this in 2000 when I was trading, and I actually started after the dot-com boom. So I saw a lot of people that have several $1 million blown up in the first 6 months of 2000 because the market stopped bailing them out, and they all went from multimillionaires to going back to their other jobs because they didn't realize that it was a gift from God, a gift from the trading gods. But then I started after that, and I actually learned how to trade. I learned how to read the tape. I learned how to read different market conditions, which ultimately leads you to understanding when to be aggressive, when to scale back, when to book profits quicker, when to build positions, when to have lower initial share size, when to be in cash, because we have to think of the long game. And that's really where, look, I'm not a hard sales pitch person, but the boot camp is to show you that we know what we're doing. And then the annual mastery is to really show you how to do it for yourself over 12 months so that we can see many different market conditions. So what I want to get across here is it's very unfortunate that some people lost a ton of money in September and October. And it's because they didn't listen. It's because they hide in the background. It's because they put on a losing trade and they're afraid to ask questions. Look, I'm the most laid back guy you're going to meet. I want you to ask questions. I'm imploring you to ask questions because I understand the market changed. And I kept saying it over and over and over again. We're stock specific, sector rotation, scale it back. Certain days we could push it. Certain instances like JKS, which after August and September took off and give us some really, really good trading for September and October. But now the tape has changed dramatically there as well. If you look from the middle of October through where we are right now. So the point that I'm making is, I know, I don't want to say this the wrong way. I know that everybody here is taking this seriously. So I don't want to say you're not. What I do want to say is that I need you, if you want to get the maximum value out of our relationship together, which I want to help. I just can't stress this enough. I want to help, but you need to ask questions. You need to call out your ideas. You need to ask, is this a good idea? So we can have a healthy conversation about it. And I could have helped you save a fortune just by you asking a question. I'm available in Slack all day long. If it's not during market hours, you could post a question, I'll get back. You could post a question in the forum. You could email me a question. You could direct message me a question. Obviously, direct messaging me in the first 90 minutes of the day is a little challenging, but I'm available all day, every day. If you're struggling, I really need you to ask a question so I can help, so we can have a conversation. If you're here, you made the investment in yourself. I want to help, but I can't bring you to you need to ask questions. The stories I'm hearing over the last week and a half of people who have gotten absolutely crushed. And then I look and I'm like, they haven't participated in a month because they haven't listened that the market has changed and we're a lot more stock specific. And I've been harping on it. Manage your share size, manage your risk right now because it's not perfect conditions. I wasn't saying it because I wanted everybody to make less money. I was saying it because it was reality, and I was trying to keep everybody. Take this word in context, please. I was trying to keep everybody safe while they were learning to recognize different market conditions. And safe is obviously relative. I'm not trading with you. We're not trading together. I'm not trading your account. You're not trading my account. It's more safe in the context of I was recognizing the market conditions changed, and I was trying to impart that to you so that you kept your exposure relative to what was available, and then some of the opportunities that exceeded the tougher markets we capitalized on, like this. I know a few members messaged me privately that they made more in this period of time here when we shifted away from some of the other stocks that were easier to trade, like the market stocks, like Facebook and Microsoft and Apple and Tesla and those stocks that were very, very easy when the market was going straight up. We shifted over into other stocks, and I had some people messaging me that They made more in this 4-week period than they made in the entire year because they were in the right trades and the expectation for follow through was good. So it saddens me that people in the community are getting crushed because they're not participating. I had somebody this morning asking me a bunch of questions about nonsense because he's not even participating. He's got to log in and he's not, I'm not going to take responsibility for somebody not participating. However, if you do participate, I will give you so much more. I just need you to ask a question. I have no idea what trades you're in. I need you to talk. That's it. Talk. Just ask what do you think about this trade? And we'll talk about it as long as we have to. But you made the investment in yourself to be here. I'm just asking you and pleading with you in the strongest way. Ask questions. I want you to ask questions. I'm not doing this for the sake of doing this. I'm doing this because I really care about whether you succeed or not. I just need you to ask questions throughout the day. And obviously the game plan meeting right now, we're going to talk about ideas, but during the day and in the coaching calls and in Slack and in the forum, ask questions. I want to help. I'm so heartbroken that I'm hearing people are losing a lot of money the last 6 weeks because they haven't participated. I see they're not participating. All of a sudden somebody disappears and I know it because they lost money on a trade and they're embarrassed. You shouldn't be embarrassed. You're here to learn. You're here to learn. And we have one of the most accommodating communities I think I've ever seen. Last night I'm logging in like 8 o'clock at night and people are helping each other. That's what we're fostering here. So whether it's me or somebody else in the community, I want you to participate. If you're not participating, I'm going to tell you straight up, I am not going to take responsibility if you don't log in. There's no way in the world I'm going to take responsibility for your losses or let somebody tell me what we're doing doesn't work because they've never called out a trade in 4 weeks. That's on you, dude. That's not on me. That's on you. You have to participate. So I go through this every once in a while because I get frustrated when somebody or a bunch of people are not at all active, but then they out of nowhere they send me a message that what are they doing wrong? Well, what are you doing wrong is you're not getting value out of what you paid for because you're not showing up. It's like not going to the gym and then yelling at the gym you didn't lose weight because you didn't go. I care so much about everybody in the community. You have to participate. I can't say it any other way. You have to get out of your comfort zone. The stock market could really rattle your brain. But if I do anything, it's first is to keep your positivity going. And second is to point out what direction we need to go to improve your individual circumstances. Some people are trading for 10 years here. Some people are trading for 10 days. And I'm very good at balancing, helping both of those people. But I need you to help me help you. But I tell you right now, and I'm going to curse here for a second, so I'm going to give you a second to bleep it. You're out of your effing mind if you think I'm going to take responsibility for somebody struggling who doesn't log in. There's no way in the world I'm going to take responsibility for that. You have to start. You have to participate. You have to log in. You have to watch the lessons. There's over 100 hours worth of education on top of the live stuff we do every day. All I'm asking you to do is participate. All I'm asking you to do is ask a question. It breaks my heart when somebody's out of nowhere. I'm losing. Well, you haven't posted a trade or a question in a month. You need to participate. So I just wanted to start that out because I really care. I really care about whether you succeed or not. But you need to help me help you. So I'm going to head over into the meeting now, into the game plan calls, because I wanted to start the day out that way because I kind of feel like also it's my responsibility when we're heading into the day that we're all going into the day with the right mindset, which is the right mindset is everything we do in the market together is feedback to learn to get better. Whether it's a positive trade, a losing streak, or a positive streak, we need to learn from everything that we do. I'm very famous is not the right word, but it's a famous thing that I talk about all the time, which is when I first started trading, I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay attention to what was working, and I kept making the same mistakes over and over and over again until I remember where I was. I was on a baseball field sitting in the bleachers where I lived on Long Island, and I was writing out notes, and I'm like, Mike, I'm writing the same thing every week. I'm like, what am I going to learn from what I'm doing? How can I expect different results when I'm doing the same thing over and over again? And that was the epiphany for me, where it's like every single trade has to be feedback for me to get better. And whether it's a trade, a day, a week, or a month, you should be expecting yourself 30 days from now to be in a better position than where you are today because you participated, because we have all of this community help, because we have all of this home study training, because we have all of the weekly coaching calls and the updates and everything that we do together. Your goal should be better in 30 days, and then 30 days better than those 30 days. But that can only happen if every single thing we do together is learning experience. A good trade, what'd you learn? What'd you do right? What could you have done better? A losing trade, was it a good trade? Okay, yes. Okay, so it just didn't follow through. So you don't have to feel like you did something wrong. You did something good if you took losses where you're supposed to. Was it a losing trade that was a completely out of the wall trade where your stock was going down and you're like, oh, it's too low, I'm going to buy it now? That's a bad trade. You have to learn from that. And we talked about it yesterday, which is a big deal. Jesse Livermore talks about it in Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. And it's true. You make a big list of what doesn't work, and what's left over is how you make money. And that's where order flow is. That's where tape reading comes in. These aren't like random things. These are like 20 years of me making and losing money to boil it down to like the most crystal clear things of exactly what we're supposed to look at together. And that's how we're going to make money. So I will do everything I can humanly do to help you succeed. All I'm asking is you take advantage by asking questions. That's all. I need you to get out of your comfort zone. Nobody in our community will make fun of a question you have, no matter how simple it is. I just need you to ask. As a matter of fact, our community will do the opposite, where we will help you if you don't understand something. I take credit for that. 100%, I will take credit, because I wanted this to be a community of teammates, not just a community of everybody separately, not caring about what everybody else does. I built that intentionally. I won a national baseball championship when I was 15 years old, and to this day, it was the sweetest experience of my life. Other than getting married, it was the sweetest experience of my life, because everybody on that team was pulling for each other, and that's why we won. So that's what I want Stock Trading Pro to be. That's what I want our community to be. I just need you to step up and be a part of the community. And you know what? If you have a question today, 30 days from now, you're going to be able to answer that same question for somebody else, and we'll just keep paying that generosity forward. And that's going to make it an amazingly profitable and fun place to be. So I had to start out today that way, because I know there's some people struggling who are not participating, and I just need you to participate so I can help, and so the community can pitch in too. Every single thing we do together is a learning experience. So every 30 days, every 10 trades, we'll get better and better and better, but it starts with paying attention and asking questions. All right, so I'm going to get into today's game plan. We're going to take a look. Obviously, we just talked about the futures markets. We have a pretty wide range already. It's 20-point range this morning. So we're getting some volatility. We're getting some price action. We want the price action. So now it's just a question of follow through. So what I want to talk about here very briefly, again, before we actually get into the ideas, I want it to be fresh in everybody's mind while we're taking the same trades every day. We need to know what really good looks like and where we can expect follow through versus where the tape has changed. And whether we talk about JKS, whether we talk about DocuSign, which to me is I'm telling you, if you haven't done it yet, it's the poster child for great ideas versus when the tape has changed. This was just amazing. And then the tape changed. How does the tape change? That's got to be your obvious question, right? Well, the tape change goes from, it's not well bid consistently anymore. It goes well bid, indecision candlestick, well bid, bearish U-turn, inside candlestick, melted candle, giant melted candle. The tape changed. And this is where traders got messed up in September and October, because they didn't listen, they didn't pay attention, and they continued to trade aggressively during September and October when it wasn't there. It was there from day to day. If you go back and listen to the videos, I kept saying a minimum criteria right now. At least can we get a well bid candlestick? At least on the daily chart, can we see a higher high and a higher low to feel a little more comfortable? And then you start working your way to the left. Okay, well bid here. Is it also well bid here? If the answer is no, that lowers your conviction level, because you're literally trading with 1 day worth of order flow. And that's how you build the argument. That's how you build your conviction levels. And then you take it a step further, like we did yesterday, which is sector rotation and being in the right stocks in the morning, where in the morning, all of the semiconductor stocks and solar stocks were strong. And in the afternoon, the solar stocks picked up. And you have to pay attention to that. You don't need to have a monster list, but you need to have structure. And when you have that structure, again, I'm going to keep using the car as an example. You know when to step on the gas and you know when to step on the brake. When you understand that kind of stuff, that's where trading puts the control in your hands. It's not about the market anymore. It's not about the market giving us a gift like we had in July and August. It's about you looking at the market and saying, I know exactly what I'm looking at, and if there's money to be made, I'm going to make it. I also know exactly what I'm looking at, and if the market's tough, I'm perfectly okay with scaling back or being in cash because it's nothing to do right now or the expectation for follow through is lower, and I'm not putting my money in harm's way because the odds of me making money are lower. So I'm either going to scale back and go with much lower initial share size and get feedback, or I'm going to be perfectly okay with being in cash and waiting for money to be laying in the corner so I can go and pick it up. So these couple of charts here are good illustrations of what you should be looking at on both your game planning coming into the day when you run scans and then do the game plans, and then when you lean over and go into getting ready to place trades during the day. And you factor that in with the first thing we talked about with not chasing stocks that are already up 7 days in a row. You start to get better ideas, better quality ideas. You start to see trades move against you less frequently because you're on top of better ideas where your timing is better and the order flow is clearer. So I want to keep re-drilling that in day after day after day so it becomes second nature for everybody. All right, so let's start out with Ulysses here, DAR and WRK. Yep, WRK triggered the swing trade, so we're going to talk about that. I actually got stopped out on the Prudential swing trade yesterday, which I posted in the room. So we're going to take a look at DAR and WRK. All right, so well bid, and breaking out, which is pretty awesome, right? And well bid here, melted candle, which is not a big deal. We actually did hold the previous close, so I like this one as well. Good call there. Now, what's interesting here is, again, let's be clear on the idea. Here is the optimal entry. This is the inside candlestick breaking out of the $46 resistance level. So now we are 1 day well bid, followed by another inside candlestick, followed by well bid. So this is not chasing because we actually had a pause here. That's different. So that I like that one because it's not 7 days of well bid. Work we actually discussed. We had the $42 entry. We did not get stopped out. The stop loss is below 40 here because this was the entry, the well bid candlestick, right? So far the breakout has failed. I'm going to stick to the entry. We have resistance here at 45. So I still like the trade. If you didn't enter it yesterday, this is still a well bid candlestick. If you did not enter yesterday, you're looking for yesterday's high again as a breakout. So Ulysses, I like both of them. It's just a question of where is the entry. Let's see, Valerie, LOB and SO. Yep, we had LOB yesterday as well. Let's take a look at LOB. So pretty close to an inside candlestick. If not, I like it. Well bid, well bid. Again, that's what you do want to see. So Valerie, nice job calling out a stock that has obvious order flow. The last thing now to pay attention to is, are you going parabolic on the daily charts, which implies that the stock is entering a phase where it's probably overextended and the buying is ending? The answer here is no. So we still look good here. We still look good here. We don't have resistance. So we're basically looking at an inside candlestick breakout into all-time highs. So that one looks good as well. Inside candlestick, again, well bid, well bid. The resistance level up here at 70 and change. So now this is interesting. So it looks like it's going to open up right around 64 with let's say 71 being the resistance level. So you are $7 away. You have a bullish gap here. So we've extended a little bit, right? We had a bullish gap, which went well bid. Then we went well bid, and then we went inside candlestick. So now if we know 71 is the target before we head into all-time highs, we're going to open up at 64. We've diminished the profit potential unless the stock makes new all-time highs. So the proper trade strategy here is lower initial entry, looking to build a swing trade up to 72, 71, 72, and then only adding after that because of the limited side of the profit potential. Now, if you only want to trade from 64 to 71, that's not a problem at all because what are you risking here? You're risking yesterday's trading range, which is roughly not even $1, quite honest. It's about 80 cents to make $8. That's a pretty good trade. I'd take that all day long. I'd take that all day long. So both ideas solid there. I like them both. Let's see, Franz. First I want to congratulate Franz yesterday. Had a $2 trade in JKS. Very exciting to see that in the afternoon. Nice job. Very good job. Let's see, CVAC. Let's see. So not a lot of price history here, so we got to keep that in mind. inside month break, actually an inside month breakout. So that looks awesome. Inside week breakout to well bid. Looks like 85 is plenty of room to go. So it looks like this was really the breakout level. So now we have, here's the difference. Now we have, this was the, again, let's keep going to the optimal entry. This inside candlestick, not that you would have been long. I just want to point this out from an inside candlestick perspective. You wouldn't have been long because it was in 4 weeks of selling. You have well bid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 days of well bid in a row and a higher opening today. I would be very reluctant to be initiating a new swing trade today in the stock because now this will be the 7th day in a row of the stock being well bid. I would be looking to day trade it, then look for a pause, looking for the next swing trade. That's a good example there of a stock that meets both criteria. Let's see, PLTR, I believe that had earnings today, if I'm not mistaken, right? Up 3%, yep. So let's see, so well bid. So when I mentioned before parabolic, this is what parabolic looks like. So if you start to see these kind of moves on the daily chart, even though this is the monthly, I'm just using it as an illustration. You start to use these kind of moves, you start to see that the stock is reaching a point where it's probably going to see profit taking. But in this case, we are well bid, well bid. We actually had a pause here. The stock went from 16 down to 13.5. So it pulled back $2.50, and now it's well bid. So Virginia, I actually like this stock as a long because we had a big move up. We pulled back $2.50, and now the stock's well bid again. The entry is above yesterday's high, which looks like that's what we're going to get. Where is the profit potential? Honestly, very difficult to tell here because the stock doesn't have that much history. It's only got a couple, 2.5 months of history. So really, in this case here, you're going to be managing with the trailing stop as it moves in your favor. Normally, we can identify what it normally does. The stock has no history to identify that, so you're going to have to use a trailing stop loss on that one as it moves up. So I like the idea here, Virginia. Very solid idea. Let's see, AXT. Let's see, did I type that in right? AXT. Okay, that's not something we would normally trade. The stock doesn't trade that much at all. Let me know if that's supposed to be AXP, Virginia. If not, AXT is not a stock we would normally trade without even looking any further that it's not trading and it's 12 cents. So not something that we would look at. Let me know if that's supposed to be, oh, there it is. I'm sorry, AXTI. Okay, you changed that. All right, AXTI. Okay, so again, generally I don't trade these lower price stocks, but from a tape reading perspective, it's well bid, and well bid. A little bit of resistance at 8, a little bit of resistance at 10. So I would say if we're looking to build a position here, it looks like it has resistance. Actually, every $2 has resistance. So it looks like I'd start to build a position over 8, and then I would not add to that trade until it broke 12. All right, let's see. There was a reply here. What was that? Okay, yep. Okay, yep, that's what I thought. PLTR has earnings. So let's see, Jason. Yep, the industrial sector popped. Absolutely. Honeywell and BNTX. Let's take a look. So close to an inside candlestick after this bullish gap with the lower opening. So here's how we're looking at this one. We're clearly not looking to sell the short stock, to sell the stock short. Look where it is up here. The lower opening would make us do nothing and just wait for our entry. So we're looking for really a bullish U-turn here to enter. So because the odds of us trading all the way back up to 202.50, especially with the market negative right now, are smaller. So we're probably not going to take out yesterday's high. Today's trade in Honeywell would be a lower opening, a bullish U-turn where it reverses, closes back above yesterday's low, above today's open, and you would buy it on the close today. Let's see, BNTX. Well bid, bullish gap on the weekly, and inside day, also with the lower opening today. I like this one long as well, though. These lower openings aren't scaring me because I love this price action into all-time highs. Lower openings, not a big deal. I'm not looking to sell it short, only looking to buy it. So both of those stocks actually have the same type of scenario here today. Let's see. I'm liking both Roku and Square. Good morning, Henderson, by the way. Let's see, moving averages are in the correct order. Okay, so for those of you that are new, that means the 20 is above the 50 and the 50 is above the 200. So let's take a look at Roku and Square. So let's see, well bid, inside week, and well bid here. So this is interesting. So we're kind of recovering here, right? Well bid, indecision here based on this big move from here, right, from last week. but now we're actually well bid. So this is what we're talking about with a lot of the stocks we're looking at, wanting to see the minimum criteria, which is well bid on the daily candlestick and closing near the high. So I like that one. You can definitely take a look at that one today, looking for it to make new all-time highs. And similar, almost identical charts, right? Well bid inside candlestick and well bid here again. It looks like 192 is the level that I would look for the first area of resistance. So buying above yesterday's high, not adding until it breaks 192 or 2 times the ATR. So Henderson, I like both of those ideas. Let's see. Hey, Maureen, good morning. CRSR. Let's take a look. I actually think somebody else called that one out. So, yep, we actually talked about plug yesterday. We initiated along in plug and Upwork yesterday as swing trades. Today's, if you didn't get it yesterday's high would be the entry for a new swing trade. CRSR. Well bid, and well bid. Lower opening, not a big deal. I like that. So higher, today's trade for a swing trade be above yesterday's high, yesterday's low around 28. So you're risking maybe just over $1 there. So not a big deal. I like the idea. Yep, so perfectly illustrated there. Nice. Maureen, you're doing a really good job of outlining your trades. That's impressive. Very good job. Again, thinking through the whole trade, not just I want to be long. You're thinking through the whole trade. Net yesterday woke up and actually gave us some nice day trades yesterday as well. So we're still well bid inside week. And well, we're going to see a lot of that right now because of last week's price action and the big gap this morning. So we're inside candlestick here looking for a breakout, which would take us up towards this level. So we might not do that today, but we're well bid here. So I like that one as well. 62 below 62 would be the stop loss there. And in this case here, you're not looking for a retest to 72. You're looking for new all-time highs. So I like all three of those, Maureen. Good job. Okay, yep. So we got a couple of people looking at CVAC. Oh, I'm sorry, Ross. I went right past you there. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at. Look, I'm going to actually go back up here to Ross. I don't know how I buzzed through the Ross. Sorry about that. Z and Chewy. We actually had Z in yesterday morning's video. It wasn't a bullish U-turn entry, but it was at yesterday's high, which was the entry. So 104 was the entry, a little bit higher opening today. I still like it. But again, now the stock has 96 to 109. So with today's open, it's $13 off of where it reversed. So that would indicate we need to work the order a little bit more as it makes its way into new all-time highs. But I do like the idea. We're looking for an inside week breakout that takes us into new all-time highs. I like the idea, Ross. Chewy. CHWY. Okay, so this is interesting. This is going to fall into that category of bigger picture. Is it obvious? Okay, melted candles galore here on the monthly chart. Pushed up and failed. Pushed up and failed. Pushed up and failed. And you can see it more clearly here on the daily, right? So the tape has changed here in Chewy. It's bullish, bearish, bearish, bullish, bearish. So the tape has changed here, which you can see here. You have the minimum criteria for considering to look long here, which is yesterday's well-bid candle that closed on the high. This on a scale of 1 to 10, this would be like a 6 because the higher time frames are not on your side other than the fact that we're close to all-time highs. The weekly charts have been choppy for about 5 weeks, so the weekly chart's not on our side. You're only trading with yesterday. So Ross, on this particular scenario, if you like it and you're looking to build a position into all-time highs, it should be lower share size because we don't have order flow pointing in our favor right now. Where was the one I just missed? I'm sorry. CVAC. We might have covered this one already. Just want to go back over it. Yes, we did. Okay, so we have an inside month breakout. Yep, we did cover that one, Franz. Okay, so hopefully you got that one. Let's see, Michael. Yes, Snap is interesting. We actually haven't talked about it since we were actively trading it after the earnings over here. So melted candle pullback on the monthly, which is actually a bearish U-turn right now. And we're well offered here. So again, putting the pieces together, looking at the tape, it's not obvious here other than the fact that we just pulled back, right? We're not, it's well bid, but it's not near the highs. It's well offered here and it's near the lows. So we don't have perfect situation here, but we do have this holding the bullish gap after earnings and an inside candlestick. So I actually like the scenario of buying a breakout of this inside candlestick, looking for new all-time highs. But because of this and because of this, I'm not doing it with full share size. I want to get feedback from the market Just start looking for entries. Does everybody understand that? I want to keep reiterating awesome versus work the order. Awesome versus work the order. Okay. Virginia, welcome. We covered both of your stocks. They both look good. Let's see. Jeremy, Crocs. Oh, that's a new one. Haven't looked at that one in a while either. I like it. I like it. All right. So well bid, but closing on the lows. And again, this something as simple as this. It's well bid, but on the low. So it's not perfectly well bid, right? It's what do I want to see? What don't I want to see? In this case here, we have a nice pullback. It's not one giant red candle that came all the way down here. So I like this inside candlestick breakout, looking for new all-time highs. So nice call there as well, Jeremy. Let's see, TAP and HOG. Inside day. HOG was frustrating the heck out of me. I think I took 2 losses last week on HOG. We had this inside trade that never followed through. We got another one here. The well bid didn't follow through, and inside again. So again, what are you looking at here? Where is the price action? If you really break this down, all of this price action, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days of price action is still inside this one day. Let that sink in for a second. So where could we look at this and say, where can we identify as the breakout level that we'll be looking at? Probably here at 35. Got to 35 and failed. Got above 35 and failed. Got above it and failed. Yesterday tried to get there and failed and formed an inside candlestick. So now we actually have pretty close to another inside candlestick. So again, it kept failing. 40 is the resistance. So there's not a lot of upside on a breakout of 35. So again, lower share size because you have limited upside potential, looking for a bigger move over 40. So you'd initiate the first piece of your trade through yesterday's inside candlestick breakout. Yesterday's low would be the stop loss, and you wouldn't add until it gets over 40. All right, inside after a pause. So this is interesting here now too. So we've been talking a lot about this, right? Well bid. So from that perspective, it looks good. But now the stock has paused for 3 days after the gap. Do you see the difference in buying this day and expecting it to follow through versus now 3 days later, day 1, day 2, day 3, it's paused and now gives us an amazing entry and stop loss looking for the next move. That's what we're talking about when we say these stocks explode and you got to find a better entry. That's exactly what we're talking about. Same thing here. Exploded, paused for 4 days, and then gave you a good entry here. It wasn't perfectly inside, but pretty darn close. All right, everybody, I'm going to try and get through as many as I can. We're going to end the meeting at 9:25, but I think what we discussed before this started was much, much more important. We'll keep reviewing all the trades after the market opens. Let's see. Hey, Sal, good morning. Do you think Wing had well bid yesterday and is ready to break out? Let's take a look. All right, WING. All right, so interesting. We have a bullish U-turn, right, on the monthly chart. So that's positive price action. It's not well bid, but that bullish U-turn is positive. Inside weak and well bid on the daily. So let's put the pieces together. We have 4 weeks of selling. We have a push and a pause, and now we have a swing low and well bid. So when you put all these pieces together, it looks like the monthly has started to reverse. It's not quite well bid yet, but this is certainly positive price action. We have an inside week, so we're looking for that inside week to break out and bullish here because of well bid. So putting all of that together, we have the first potential reversal to the upside. So in that case here, because we are looking for the weekly breakout and we're trading off the well bid, we are really only trading off of this right now. This is positive. We've held this. So if we're looking for a longer term move back to 160, you would start working the order based on a breakout of yesterday's high. It would in no circumstances be full position because we're still fighting 4 weeks of selling. This is very positive. This is positive and this is positive, but we want to see a little bit more price action. So if you're looking to initiate a new trade, looking for it to retest up here, which now looks like about 168 actually is the resistance level, which gives you plenty of room to go. Start working the order as you get confirmation and feedback from the market that it's moving in your favor. All right, so we're going to actually, I'm going to go over these as we can. I want to give everybody a chance to get ready for the open. Jane, GRWG, yep, we actually discussed that heading into the day with earnings today. Let's just see where it's still trading. I know earlier this morning it was actually looking good, and Mendel actually pointed this out as well. So inside candlestick up 6%. Looks like it's going to open up around here. I like it. Honestly, I like it. This has been popping up on my scanner every day. Not really a super clean day trading stock, but I do like the fact that it actually, this is not one of those stocks that exploded and came all the way back down to the entry price. This one actually held the 50% retracement level and then started again. So we're going to get the catalyst from earnings again. So I actually like this one as well. I actually just cut past Gary. Sorry about that, Gary. I like both of these. I'll tell you why, because they were in play yesterday. We're looking for some follow through today. So let's see, Microchip and Maxim. Maxim actually popped up in my scan late in the afternoon yesterday. So let's see, well bid, and looks great there. So well bid, and well bid. Lower opening doesn't matter to me. And again, this is something that is kind of lost on some newer traders. The lower opening is not as significant as well bid, well bid, well bid. Well bid, well bid, well bid is more important than this opening. You would have expected this opening to open a little lower because it closed off the highs, but Gary put it in perspective. He said, I'm looking to day trade it, and that's fine. He has his expectation for follow through on the trade. And we also have inside, no, actually not an inside month, just a really clean breakout, well bid and well bid. So all two of those stocks, both looking great, pointing to new highs. I like them both, Gary. The lower opening, especially in both of them, wouldn't stop me from taking them at all. Let me see. I'm gonna go to AMAT and JD, and then we're gonna call it a meeting because I want to make sure everybody has time to unwind before we start. AMAT was actually in my list this morning as well. I like this one. Well bid. You can see here we finally broke this resistance level. Well bid here as well. So we're clearing monthly and weekly levels. Pulled back from 76 to 69. So again, a $7 pullback, and now it's well bid. I like this one a lot to make new highs. We're not trading for 76. We're trading for beyond 76. And I think JD is a good one to end the meeting on because it's really going to emphasize what we talked about this morning. Very big conversation that we had this morning. 3 months of melted candles. Giant bullish candle met by a giant bearish candle. And you can see the mess here. This is a stock that does not have crystal clear order flow right now. And look at the weekly chart here. This is a stock that when it lights up, you get days like this where it's very tradable on a day trading perspective. It has been very challenging as a swing trade. So just keep that in mind. It's not perfect. Look at these melted candles, although it's pulling back from this high. Melted candle, 2 huge reversal preceded by 3 weeks of indecision. This is a stock that you would be very hard pressed to get in there and trade with a lot of size because it has not been clear. If it's a day trade, that's different because you know you're managing it on the micro time frames. But from a longer term swing trading position, it's absolutely a stock that you really need to work the order. All right, everybody, we're going to actually head over to the meeting, to the game plan. I know we didn't get to everybody here, but just do me a favor. If your stocks trigger as the market's unfolding, absolutely call them out. And we will start to have those discussions as the market's unfolding. All right, let's head on over to the Slack channel. Have a great day, everyone.